Hey, I'm Jeff. This is the passenger side rear of the ladder rack completed. Use anti-seize compound on the stainless steel hardware to prevent the nuts and bolts from binding on each other. This is the passenger front side completed. Let's get started with the driver's side rear assembly. The black bushing mounts in the end hole. Make sure the notch sits correctly in the keyway. The white bushing mounts in the same direction in the bar behind. Use the long bolt with the plastic spacers to join the slide assembly to the lower crossbar, and tighten the bolts. Mount the appropriate foot for the application to the bottom of the crossbar, making sure that it sets correctly in the track. Extend the slide and hook the L post to the bottom of the slide bar, using the carriage bolt and 10mm nut. Adjust the Z post to allow for the ladder to be held securely. Fully tighten the post. Insert the driver's side drive shaft into the black and white bushings. Make sure to apply lubrication to the bushings. Make sure that the shock cylinder mounting tab is facing down. Line up the hole in the mounting tab. You may need to drill the hole with a 5/16 drill bit. Use the M8 by 25mm washers and nut to fully tighten. Line up the hole in the white bushing with the drive shaft, using a center punch. You may need to drill the hole with a 3/8 drill bit. Use the 3/8 by 2 1/4 inch bolt, washers, and nuts to fully tighten. The last step of the rear assembly is to mount the shock cylinder. Use the long bolt with the aluminum spacer and mount them to the lower crossbar with the washers and nuts. Insert the clevis pin into the cylinder mounting tab on the drive shaft and install the cotter pin. On the front crossbar assembly, use the long bolt with the 2 aluminum spacers and nylon washer to mount the top section to the lower crossbar. Fully tighten. Mount the Z post to the top bar and leave loose. Hook the L post on the bottom of the lower crossbar. Line it up so that the upper spring clamp post is vertical. Use a 10mm bolt and fully tighten. Adjust the Z post so that it will properly clamp a ladder. Apply lubrication to the front driveshaft bushing. Insert the black and white bushings into the crossbar and insert the driveshaft. Line up the holes in the shaft with the white bushing and install the 3/8 bolt washers and nuts. Fully tighten. Refer to the instructions for joining the front and rear assemblies with the connecting bars. It may be easier to join these once the rack is on top of the vehicle.